And he had his mouth wide open too. Like he was ready to, taste it.
Yeah.
But one thing led to another. I got a little too close to him, and he leaned his head forward, and he actually went about putting my eggplant in his mouth.
No way.
And that right there was my first time ever doing anything like that with anyone. And he went about doing it, and he took, and it was like for a little bit he tasted it, and then took it out, and then he went back in, and he just kept sucking it, and he was going crazy. He was like doing like he was tasting it, and he was getting like, and it felt like a lot of pressure in the tip. Like I'm telling you, like that was my first experience of a guy doing that to me, and that was a crazy. I would say it's one of the craziest collabs I've ever done in my page, and that was like a week and a half ago.
Was it just you or you and Julian?
So he did it just to me. Guy finished and he wanted to taste it. So yeah, Julian was there stroking next to him, like over there in the corner, and then I just ended up getting up, and then he leaned his head over like this, and then he just opened it.
What's the craziest custom you've ever been requested?
So basically, the craziest custom I've ever received was this guy wanted me to number 2 in a condom, right? Freeze it overnight. And then whenever it's solid and it's frozen, take it out and put it and insert it inside of my peach. That is, I don't know if it gets crazier than that. Number 2 in a condom, freeze it and then insert it in the peach over repeatedly like this, like that is insane. Like that is the craziest request. I don't know anyone else who's ever gotten a request like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Welcome to the Bosstalks podcast. It's Bossman here, and today I'm with probably the most notorious podcaster. So I know you've heard of him, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's Brandon. What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Thanks for coming.
Of course, it's been a while since we saw each other, so it's cool that you're doing the podcast thing, and from what I'm seeing online, you're doing an amazing job. Just want to say that.
Thank you.
Of course.
So for you guys that don't know Brandon, he's one of the co-hosts?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Wild Boys podcast. So if you've seen mine, you've probably seen theirs, and they kind of inspired me to do this. So you guys are killing it. I liked what y'all were doing, so gave it a shot, and it's working out. So
thanks, man. And like I said, with all the setup that I see going on here in the back ends, just for those who can't see anything, bro, I'm loving the quality, all the equipment you guys have. Hey man, I'm telling you, as long as you're consistent with it, bro, like we are, I'm telling you, there's no way that this shit can fail, For me and Julian, we love doing what we do, and that's like the big thing about this is like the audience also sees that we love doing it, So that's a really big part of it. As long as you love doing it and you're passionate about it, and whoever you're doing it with, or even just you doing it by yourself, the guests that you have on, good connections, that's all that really matters, Good vibes only.
100%. So from the start, I know you have the podcast, but you also do OF.
Yep.
So what got you into that?
What got me into OF, man, honestly, for me, I've had friends who did it, and I just a reference way back, I started doing OF in 2020, and so I've been doing it since, by now, like almost 5 years, so I've been doing it for a very long time, and a lot of my friends were doing it, and they were advising me to do it, because at the time I was just focusing on TikTok and doing the TikTok live stream stuff, because that's actually, where I started from, was just doing social media content, so I was going off of that, and a lot of my friends like, yo, you gotta try this new thing, like OF this, OF that, and for me, it's like, I didn't necessarily like, how I went about doing it kind of was like, I just did shirtless pics, and I did end up taking their advice. I did it, just shirtless pics overall, and then they were trying to really have me go all explicit, and I was like, for real, like I should really do this, because I was so like hesitant in doing it, But I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. What I gotta lose? Ended up doing it, and then now I'm here.
So when you started, it was just shirtless pictures, and then was it like maybe half, or just like shirtless pictures straight to explicit?
Yeah, it was shirtless pics, and then it went straight to explicit, because for me, like I said, I was like, what do I really have to lose? I'm gonna go all in, all out. I feel like a lot of people who want to be committed, because I want to be committed to do it. For me, it's like, if I'm gonna go all into something, I'm gonna commit myself to do it, and I'm gonna go all in. Like they did, because they were successful creators around that time too. So then I went about doing it, and yeah, and for me, more so like, I was always wondering like what my parents would think, or at least my mom would think, I grew up with just my mom, so I was really wondering what she would think. So she actually didn't know I was doing it for the longest time until I hit like my first, I think it was my first 10K a month. So once I did that, I ended up telling her, and then she was actually well, she was like, whoa. Because I didn't tell her I did explicit, but around that time I told her I was just doing shirtless pics. And then she was like, yo, you're getting that much for just shirtless pics, you know? So she was really surprised and told me to keep going and motivated me to keep going. So the fact that I got her support alone made me want to continue on doing it more. So yeah, it's kind of like how we kind of got to where we're at right now.
That's funny. So my first month I did, it was a little over 10K, and my mom just found out a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even tell her, bro, because I was like way too scared to tell her. And then she saw a podcast clip. She got an email, and it was one of my podcast pages, and there's like recommending me to her. And she looked at it. She was like, and she sent me like this long paragraph because, you know, I lied to her like about what I did for work and stuff. And
yeah.
she found out. She was really, really mad. So, but she's calmed down. She's not over it, but kind of, you know, accepting it.
I think that's good. You know, I feel like it is really important to have parents support within everything that their child do. I think it's really, really important because I don't know how your relationship is with your mom, but at least for mine, it's like we're like, you know, really, really close. I like to tell her everything what's going on with my life because I think it's important to update your parents to know that you're doing good, you know. Despite like telling her what you do or whatever, I think there's always ways to go around it, but you can only hide it for so long if you want to put yourself out there like this podcast, you know, like you're going to see clips, especially if it goes viral. You know, like it's going to really 100%. Throw them off. Like, are you really doing what you're doing? You know? So I knew that I was going to get to a point where like, not only like go about doing these clips with Julian, but I knew that they were going to get a lot of traction. So I knew she was going to see it one way or another. Plus a lot of my family members do follow me on Instagram. So so I knew no matter what she was going to find out. So I went about just being honest, you know, and I think a really big part too within my mom supporting me was more so like when you move out, you could do whatever you want, you know? So whether I had her support or not, I was still bound to do this, you know. I love doing it, you know. And for me, if I love doing what I do, I'm gonna continue pursuing and doing what I personally love to do, you know. So I think it's really important for all creators out there, which I really like cannot stress it enough. Like it is important to have parent support in what you do, but if you're moved out and you're living your own life, I mean, you can only do that for so long. If you are passionate about something and you love to do something, especially with someone, at least for me, it's Julian, right? I love doing what we do together. You know, then do it. You know what I mean? You don't need everyone's support, you know? Right. But I know family's family and not a lot of people are going to really understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard getting her to understand. But when you started in 2020, was it early or late 2020?
Actually early. You
was
know,
it
whenever
COVID?
It was COVID era. You know, a lot of people, so I guess around that time, you know, because I was making good money on the TikTok, you know, within brand deals and within the live streams, I was actually making quite a good amount. But then when it came with the pandemic, everything started slowing down. You know, like people stopped going out to their jobs, and you know, we're trying to work remote, but only certain jobs are doing that. So those who would send me gifts on my TikTok live weren't sending it as much because you know they were trying to save their money because everyone thought the world was gonna end. You know, around that time. So I was like, man, like how could I go about you know continuing, I guess just making money. You know, so again, I was asking for advice from other people, like, hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And then a lot of people were telling me, oh, like this new thing, like OF this, OF that. And around that time too, a lot of girls were doing it first. Not a lot of guys were doing it. But those who I was friends with, those who I'm friends with, like around that time, they were doing it, and there were only the few guys that were doing it, and it was actually working for them. So then I was like, I'll join the wave, see what's up. Something new for me to learn, something new for me to actually be excited about. Because I've been doing TikTok and Musically, all that stuff since I was 14, 15. Around this year, I was about to be 20, 21. And so I'm like, it's only going to last for so long. So I got to find something new. And that's what this is.
Yeah, that's a long time. So doing it that long, do you have any cool stories? Like, have you ever met up with some fans or had anything crazy happen because of OF?
You know what? Of course, you know, there's a lot of people that, I mean, more now than ever, that recognize me in the streets, which shout out to all of y'all. This is my camera, right? Yeah, shout out to all of you guys who recognize me. I do have some stories, you know, some of them are really cool. I love those who get excited, want a photo, want a picture with me. You know, I think those are really cool moments. But then there are those moments where, you know, well, I guess to put it like this, like a lot of people, because of the way I do portray myself within the podcast, right, which is, this is me, you know, I am who I am everywhere, you know, and same as to Julian, you know, we love to mess around, joke around. I think a lot of people tend to, I guess to use a word like kind of take it to their advantage where they think like, oh, Brandon's done this before, so it's comfortable for me to go up to him and like touch him, you know? Like a lot of people kind of, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but I would say majority of the experiences that I would have that I do remember are those that like people can just feel like they can just go up and like grab my butt, you know? Like out of nowhere. Like one day I was at Starbucks, and this was in Miami. I was at Starbucks getting my order. You know, I already put in my order. I'm waiting for it. And then out of nowhere, this guy goes, wow, you look better in person. And then grabs my peach. You know, he just grabs it and squeezes it like this. And then I turned around, I'm like, and I yelled at him. I was like, bro, don't touch me like that, you know? And then the worker thought that I knew the person and that we were fighting. He goes, not in here, not in here. So I got kicked out of Starbucks because I was arguing with the guy who grabbed my peach, you know, like out of nowhere. So it's just things like that I feel like, you know, I do watch out now with the things that I do say and majority of the things that I do, because I feel like a lot of people kind of take it out of context and also think that they can, like whenever they see me in public, they can just do it to me, you know? So it's one of those things where like, it doesn't make me feel too confident or comfortable to be out in public as much as I used to, because I feel like those things are going to happen again, or if not, maybe worse, you know? So you never know.
Is that the worst experience you had?
The Starbucks one specifically is one that I do remember. Worst, I mean, like I've gone grabbed at the clubs before too, like just grab. And these, again, I do take into consideration that a lot of these guys are drunk. Yeah. You know, they're drunk and they see, oh, wow, boy, Brandon, and just kind of go up and grab me because either they're too excited and they think it's like their moment to go about doing it. You know, I try to go my ways, not thinking too much about it, because I know what it's like too to be like drunk, and I understand, you know, everything is hyped up, energy's up, you know, and you see someone that you see online. It's really exciting. I understand. It's just like, I don't think there's no need to go about grabbing or touching someone so aggressively and really fiending for that, you know? It's just moments like that I would never forget, you know? And it just really gets me to, it has me be really aware of my surroundings 24/7, like always turning around and not knowing what's going to happen. You know, it's crazy.
That makes sense. Have you ever had anyone follow you home before?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of, but there are people that I've gotten a lot of like crazy like mail sent to my house, but I don't know how they got my address, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I don't like, you know, I don't say my address, but you have my, you know what I mean? You send me stuff, you know, like and I know it's never in no poor taste. It's just like that's you know, it's knowing where I live, you know. It's
still crazy. A little creepy, guys. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was on your podcast about 3-4 months ago, and I remember I'd asked you what your body count was, and then you said it was 54. So I just want to update.
An update. Well, let me tell you this. Right now, it's actually at 56. So from that time,
okay, so it's only went up 2. It's not
only went up 2. Yeah. So some within the 54 are reoccurring, so I don't really count those.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say within the new people. I feel like I've been taking a lot of breaks with my sexual desires and my pleasure, because I feel like I always take it for content. You know what I mean? Like everything that I do is obviously on camera. You know, there are only a certain amount of times where I do go about having my personal like fun, you know. A majority of the times when I'm like naked or whenever I go about pleasuring myself or whatever it is, it's always on camera. So whatever you see on there is what I'm doing without the, you know, I like, for me, I don't go about pleasuring myself, like I said, only when the camera's on. I don't remember the last time I went about by myself in the bathroom pleasuring myself, just me, without the camera or anything, you know. It's been a long time. So that's why I feel like I've been really slowed down, because I really want to go about upping the content this year. So I've been really slowing it down.
Like, where do you meet girls around here? Like in LA or Miami? Like, where are you finding them at?
So majority of them are like friends of friends. So, you know, like I would say I have a good amount of friends out here. So I would say like if I go to a house party that I get invited to, you know, Julian and I would go there, and then we either meet new people, or like I said, a friend introduces us to another friend, and then that friend has other friends. So then it kind of goes about like us just, you know, being around the circle, and, you know, and then, you know, one thing leads to another. Take a shot, or maybe 5, maybe 8. Yeah. And there you go, you know. So it's always a good time. Like I said, I don't regret any of the bodies that I have. You know, I think everything's within an experience, and I think it's really important that, you know, me being the age that I am right now, I would say, you know, I can only do this for so long. So, you know, I try my best to have as much fun as I possibly can.
And so doing it for as long as you have, you know, going on 5 years, what's the first thought you had, like, when someone asked you an out-of-pocket question? Because when you started, obviously, you probably knew you were going to have a male audience. And so, like, was you prepared for that? And, like, did someone say anything, like, super crazy from the beginning that has stuck with you?
Like, in person to me, like, about what I do?
No, like online, like just like texting with them.
Anything out of pocket? I mean, not that I can remember. No, nothing's really stuck to me. I feel like I knew that getting to what I was getting to, I was gonna get a lot of like either when it comes to hate or negative comments, things like that. I already knew because, like I said, I've been doing the social media, aspect of things for years, literally years. So doing this right now, even though I would say it's in a much bigger and higher scale, I still learn how to deal with the comments, which is, just either I accept those who either appreciate what I do and there are people who aren't going to really like what I do, like it's not there's never going to be 100% support from everyone. So anything that goes about either someone messaging me personally or sending me a DM or again, like I said, the comments, like those don't really necessarily affect me because I got opinions of my own too, so I feel like I kind of take it in that way.
Mm-hmm. And so when you started, it's probably before that, it was always just, you and girls. So like, how's your experience like going from like doing your normal stuff and to, a few years later, you're working with guys and doing crazy stuff with guys, on camera?
I think it's because of the connect. Okay. So for me, it's more so like, it's all about comfortability, right? So the content or the collabs I would say that I do with guys, like it's like I know them and they know me, like like you and I, for example, like we know each other. I'm more confident to go or more comfortable to go about doing content with you than someone with like the utmost top creator out there or whatever that I'm not too familiar with to collab with because I don't know this person, so it's more so about those who I surround myself with and, those who also Julian surrounds himself with, who we both know and that we're both comfortable with collabing. I think it's really important to collab with those you're important with because also it'll be authentic. The collab isn't forced. You're not, collabing with them because you guys want to have an even exchange. It's not about that. It's like, oh, it's fun. Because when I do collabs with you or any other creator, I always have a good time because I genuinely know you guys, so that's what's really important about doing these OF collabs. You got to really be comfortable with the person so it looks real authentic and, you guys are having fun doing it.
That's true. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. So with that said, what's the craziest thing you've done with a guy on camera?
Do you know Santana XXL?
Is he kind of like a bigger guy? Is that the guy that's known for like giving head? Like
yes, in the car. So he's known for bringing guys to his car and giving them head. Uh-huh. So recently me and Julian went about going to a hotel that he was staying at. It's actually near here, like literally right here. And we went up there, we met up with him. And the whole point of this collab was for Julian and I to play with ourselves and paint his face. And he had his mouth wide open too, like he was ready to, taste it. Yeah. But one thing led to another. I got a little too close to him. And, he leaned his head forward and he actually went about putting, my eggplant in his mouth.
No way.
And that right there was my first time ever doing anything like that with anyone. And he went about doing it and he took, and it was like for a little bit, he tasted it and then took it out and then he went back in and he just kept sucking it. And he was going crazy. He was like doing like that. He was tasting it and he was getting and it felt like a lot of pressure in the tip. Like I'm telling you, like that was my first experience of a guy doing that to me, and that was a crazy I would say it's one of the craziest collabs I've ever done in my page, and that was like a week and a half ago.
Was it just you or you and Julian?
So he did it just to me. Guy finished and he wanted to taste it. So yeah, Julian was there stroking next to him, like over there in the corner, and then I just ended up getting up and then he leaned his head over like this and then he just opened it.
That's actually crazy. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that.
Have you done a collab like that before? Like a guy like really? Yeah. So me either, right? So going about doing that was like me taking it to like the next level. Yeah. And I for me, how I thought about it, like there's no better person to do it than someone who's actually like known for doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got a taste. Well, he more so got a taste of what that's like. But so did I. I got the feel of what that's like, and I thought it was crazy. So yeah. All
right, so be honest, was he good or?
It was good. I'll give Santana the praise. I think he deserved. Honestly, I really do think Santana. Well, not think. I know Santana's really good at what he does and why all these guys do end up going to the car with him. Like now, I understand everything. He literally is good at what he does, and I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. So if you closed your eyes, do you think it'd be as good or better in a girl?
It's crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm being so honest. Like I felt, because he has a beard, and I felt the hair like prickle.
No.
So I don't think so. More so because of the beard. But if it was, I mean, that is his look, and that's to him. See, if you were to shave it, maybe. But I think it's more so like I felt the prickliness of the beard, and also my juices got stuck in his beard. Like you gotta check out the video for real. It's crazy. You gotta check it out. Shout out crazy. Santana.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah, that was definitely the craziest collab for sure.
Well,
the most recent.
Maybe it'll be up to one day. I don't know. I mean,
who knows?
I don't know how much there is that can really surpass that. But
I know, right? At this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the standard's really high now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll figure it out. It's always gonna improve, get better. So
exactly, no, for sure.
But so when you talk to your fans, what's the craziest custom you've ever been requested?
Hey, I can get in detail here.
Yes.
All right.
I think you told me once already.
I think, and nothing's ever topped that. I would love to think of a new one, but I would love to say for your pod for the viewers who don't know.
Yeah, tell them.
So basically, the craziest custom I've ever received was this guy wanted me to number 2 in a condom, right? Mm-hmm. Freeze it overnight, and then whenever it's solid and it's frozen, take it out and put it and insert it inside of my peach. Mm-hmm. That is, I mean, I don't know if it gets crazier than that. I mean, number 2 in a condom, freeze it and then insert it in the peach over repeatedly like this, like that is insane. Like that is the craziest request. I don't know anyone else who's ever gotten a request like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think and that made me realize a lot too, like there is a thing for everyone out there. And I really do think that no matter what, like people love everything. Like there's not one thing that you can't name that is not a kink, that people will make it a kink, it's crazy, I didn't even know that people were into that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's crazy.
Well, I wonder if people make videos like that. Like I wonder if there's a video like that out there. I'm sure there is. I don't want to look it up, but
no, probably. I mean, if you request, there's no way that he has not requested this to any other creator. You know what I mean? He probably gotten it and he wants another one from someone else. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I wonder if anyone's actually ever made it.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I think about that too.
Yeah.
That is definitely a custom that stays in my mind and it always will.
Yeah. So what's the craziest one that you've done?
Craziest custom I've ever done. Man, I've done a lot of crazy customs. Mm-hmm. But if I were to name one that really sticks within my mind, besides the Santana, custom. Geez, man. A lot of crazy customs. All right, so the craziest custom I feel like that really sticks within my head that I can remember was okay, so we were at this house, right? It was a B&B that we had got. Mm-hmm. And you're familiar with Brad and Samir, right? Yeah. So basically they were there, and my custom, this guy paid me, and it was a really, really crazy amount. Mm-hmm. Really crazy amount. It was me laid down in the bed like a starfish, like this, right? Like legs like this. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was having to be tied ankle, both of my wrists. Mm-hmm. And it would be Julian, Brad, and Samir tickling me while I was tied up. But the thing is like we got the custom literally when we got the B&B, and it was night, so we didn't have rope. We couldn't go out and get rope. Everything was closed, so we had to get creative. Mm-hmm. And this is where it gets crazy. So of course, every single one of us in the B&B have iPhones, so we all got out iPhone chargers, and they tied me with iPhone chargers. And I'm telling you, like it was like so tight the way they tied me because they didn't want me to escape, and because obviously I was gonna be struggling. They're tickling me, and if you don't know, I'm really ticklish, by the way. I'm really, really ticklish. So they tied it so tight that obviously within the wires, like it was like imprinted in my wrist for a week and on my ankles. Like it was so sore because and Julian, oh my God, because they put oil on my body too to make it more slippery and ticklish. Yeah. It was terrible. And they did not tell me they were going to do that, but I was tied up. I couldn't help myself, Mm-hmm. So they ended up doing that, and I was struggling, going crazy. I was sweating and I was crying at the same time. Like it was crazy. my whole body was red, all scratched up from their nails, like tickling me. It was the craziest collab ever. I would never forget that one. That one really imprinted in my head.
Yeah, that's insane.
Could you think you could do that for a fair amount?
No. Yeah, well, I don't know. Are you able to say the dollar amount?
It was for 5,000.
What? Mm-hmm. Ooh, 5,000 for 15 minutes of that? I don't know.
Yep, it was 5K. They ended up doing it, and there was also 3 strong men, tickling me. Like it was insane. It was, bro. I would never compare that to any other customs that I've done. That's so uncomparable. Like that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm doing it.
5 bands, you're doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, 15 minutes though. Oof.
I know.
That's a long time.
Think about it. Every minute was like an hour for me.
Yeah. So I saw the other day, I think it was like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw you did a live stream where you're going to break the world record. Can you just tell me about that?
Yeah, so basically I did a 24-hour stream, and mind you, it was a day before our flight to Vegas because we were attending an event there. So it was 24 hours prior. So whenever my live ended, I had to go catch a flight. So it's crazy. But yeah, so I started at like 5 p.m. And basically the whole point of the 24-hour live stream was I wanted to try doing one. I've never ever tried doing a 24-hour stream. So I wanted to try doing it. And I was like, you know what? How can I make how can I entertain a stream for 24 hours? You know, it's a very long time. It's an entire day. So I went about thinking like, you know what is the world record for the amount of orgasms within 24 hours? And with me doing my research, I saw that it was 17. And so I'm like, you know what? That number does sound high for 24 hours. Like, who's doing that for 24 hours? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So I ended up doing that. But I, just to kind of keep it, I guess, within long story short, I ended up hitting, I think it was either 7 or 8. One of those. 7.5, because when I was mid-stroking, I had to give up because it was pinching. It was aching. But how I went about doing it and why I reached that number was because within my live stream, you had to hit a goal, and once I hit the goal, it was equaled 1 attempt. So let's say if I hit one goal, obviously that's me trying it. I hit another goal, so I ended up hitting the goal like 7 or 8 times. So my goal is more so to go about seeing if I can hit these tip goals, and the majority of tip goals I would get was me attempting 1 nut. So I really try, because for me, I really wonder if I went about doing it without the tip goals and actually tried doing it. Like, I don't know how that would go in my favor because my legs were shaking. The eggplant was cramping, and it was like I was just like all over the place, like shivering when I got to like the 5th or 6th round. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, I ended up hitting 7 or 8 of the tip goals, which meant I only attempted 7 to 8 nuts. And it was such a crazy experience. But then imagine having to do that, right? So when you think of a 24-hour stream, obviously you think about being up 24 hours entertaining the chat. So imagine doing that while also going about attempting the world record of breaking to nut that amount of times. Like, it's exhausting. Not only to nut that amount of times, but also having to stay awake for the 24-hour stream. It's just a lot going on, you know? And then how I went about doing it was there was like drinking involved, you know, just to keep me up, a lot of Red Bull. Like, I was really trying to entertain it and have that hype energy to, of course, have the viewers stay on and to continue tipping. And, you know, just I really wanted to entertain and have a good 24-hour stream. So if I were to do it again, those would be entertained for me to do it again, you know? So they would join back. But it was a really crazy experience. And I really do advise that if you were to do it, or any other creator watching this were to do it, hey, prepare yourself physically and mentally, because it is really draining. And didn't help that whenever I ended it obviously 5 p.m. whenever I started the next day. We had a flight at 6:30. So then within that, I didn't have time to sleep or nap at all, because then we went to Vegas, out of all places, Vegas, the next hour and a half. And then went there. But I did get enough rest. It was a while for me to recoup all the juices in my balls. It was nice. It was a lot going on, and I was cramping for a good 2 days.
Yeah. So did you only get to 8 nuts?
I did only get to 8 nuts because we only hit 8 goals, you know. So it was about the goals that we were to hit. But it was a good. But the goals were like that. There's a reason why I wasn't able to attempt it. It was the goals were, you know, a good amount, and we did end up hitting a lot of those, you know. So I wasn't too upset about not hitting or attempting it, or I mean me attempting it and not hitting it. It was more so like it was a good stream overall, and I would most definitely do it again. And yeah, it was cool.
So on average, how many times would you say you nut a day?
A day? I would say I nut between 1 to 2 times a day, and that's all within content. And it depends if I have customs.
Oh.
So like, for example, like I have a live stream today, so I'll you know, nut then, you know. Yeah. So I only nut within the cameras on. So whenever I go about either doing a custom or even just content overall in general, that's when I nut. So I try to go about busting 1 to 2 nuts a day within that. How about you? How many nuts do you bust a day?
On average 1, man, but before today, it was 3 days. And then, you know, I nutted this morning, man. That thing shot on my face.
Yeah, no, that's what happened on my 24-hour stream. The first nut on my 24-hour stream, it went on my chin.
Yeah, mine too, today.
Yeah. And I do want to say, just it's really crazy being on the other end, by the way. Because I'm so used to interviewing you, and now you're interviewing. It's like this is like
this
different.
is so cool to me.
Yeah,
I think it's cool because I always see you on TikTok on my For You page, and you're always asking and answering. So now it's like reversed.
such a different feeling. Like, it's crazy.
It's pretty cool. How does it feel? Describe it.
It's just like no, it's cool. Honestly, it's crazy to see that like me being. I think it's a lot easier being a host of something because you know you're over here trying to interview someone, and I love to get to know people. So when I have all these, when we have all these guests on our podcast, like I genuinely do enjoy getting to know these creators, and because I try to relate somehow because we all do the same thing. You know what I mean? We all, we all on the same platform, creating somewhat of the same content. So to see someone with a different personality, but then doing the same thing always intrigues me to see how those work. So now you interviewing me, how I feel is just like, it's just different. You know, it's like, you see, when you're a host, you can prepare all you want and be comfortable. What you about to ask me? I can't, it's not more preparation. It's more so like, just going off the dome, freestyling.
And, with us doing this, we get a lot of love and we get a lot of hate. And so like one thing I've noticed, it's always been from the beginning for me is I get called a queer baiter a lot. And I noticed that you guys do too. So do you have a response for that?
I just think those people who call us queer baiters, gay baiters, whatever it is, that's how I know that they don't 100% support and watch what we do. All they see is TikTok clips and swipe. See, like I said, those people who call us that would never know about the Santana collab that I recently done, right? Like, would you say that's gay baiting, queer baiting for me and another male going about him putting his mouth on my eggplant? Like, that's not gay bait. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way at all. For me, the definition of gay baiting, queer baiting is those who try to bait the community to get them to subscribe and not promising them that type of content. It's just like shirtless pics or whatever, you know what I mean? So I just think it's like me and Julian, both of us giving the audience what they ask for, what they want, is us actually delivering something that people want, That's why we keep on doing the podcast. That's why we keep on doing this. And, the audience wants more and more and more. And so we give them that. Those who don't necessarily support us 100%, not on our Patreon, not any of our, not just free page, but VIP page, none of our pages at all, are the ones who go about saying queer baiters, gay baiters, because all they see are like the clips that we post, but not the actual true content. So they don't know 100% what we really deal with. So that's something that you're gonna get a lot of is those people just see something and they 100% assume, they don't 100% be like investigating and be like, like are they actually queer baiting? Are they actually gay baiting? Let me see, And then I guarantee you, all those people that say that, if they buy just one content of ours, especially even yours, just if they buy any one of our contents, they'll 100% be like, oh, wow, I've been wrong this whole entire time. I actually love this. And then now they'll turn into someone who wants to go about wanting custom content from us, And I'll be more than glad to go about doing that. I just wish people who hate and have things to say did more investigation before commenting, because that comment's going to be there forever,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's true. Is like, I get called that and then they don't know if they subscribe. They just see me clapping some dude's cheeks.
Yeah, it's like, what do you say about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, people, like I said, people are going to have their opinions. Not much you can really do about it. All you got to do is sit, listen to what they got to say, and then move on, Because I know the reason why we have a bunch of supporters is because we're doing the right thing, and people love to see what we do because they keep asking for more. Have this person on, have this guest on. We do that, So we listen to the audience, and I feel like a lot of people who go about hating us don't understand that.
And so is there anything like, because I know you do everything on camera, is there anything specific in bed that you do or that you're into?
Something specific in bed that I am into, like in my private, honestly, like I think for me more so when it comes to sex, like, sex is sex. Nothing in particular, like really stands out to what I really like, like Julian always says that all the time. Like I'm an eater, I'm a munch. Like I love going down, you know what I'm saying? I love going down and, just giving that, that dominance. I feel like I love the feeling just going out, just being like that being like the overpower, like, going about like, yeah, you're doing this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like turn around, have that fucking arch back and you know what I'm saying? Like just, I think more so for me, it's more like, I just love like also the quality time that you go about spending with someone too, I think that's also important. It's just a bunch of ways to go about it. But anything in particular, like when it comes to within like liking feet or like kissing of the neck, anything like that, I like everything. Like, there's nothing that I don't like. Like, you want me to suck your toes? I'm sucking your toes, you know? Like, I'll do it, you know? I'll just grab it. But there's nothing in particular that I'm going for full force, you know? But I'm down to do anything.
So, like, let's say, you know, if a guy or girl were to sleep with you, is there anything you do that's, like, out of the ordinary that you'd say separates you?
A lot of people don't eat the peach, and I do.
Oh.
Yeah, I love eating peach.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know?
So has there ever been a time, like maybe, well, I know you started social media young, but before you got into OF, was there ever a time you were just down bad? Like, trying to get some cheeks? Like,
yeah,
get too drunk, bring home something from the crib?
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, man. And here's the thing. What I would consider regret is when you do with someone that like you regret doing it with, of course. For me, I know that there are moments where I'm down bad and you can't regret that. You know, it's just like you're down bad. You want some cheeks, get some cheeks, you know, like that's it's like if I can that night, I will, you know, but it's more so me doing it for my pleasure. Cause like I really, you know, like I'm doing it for me and I am lit, but man, there's no worse feeling than feeling like when you do that and then you wake up hungover and sober and you're like, bro, how did this person get in my bed? You know, and it's like that person, that's the worst feeling, you know, for me at least. But other than that, like, yeah, man, I'd be having my down bad moments. How about you? Do you?
Yeah. So that happened to me like, I want to say it was 2 months ago. Me and my friend Southern Hunk, we went to like the gay bar and I was like, I should not have been there. I was out of my mind. And it was 18 plus. So like a lot of girls my age. So it was cool. But when we were there, like he met this girl there and I guess I hit it off. And so he got me an Uber back and this girl, she had a friend with her. And so he was like, he said, come on. And so I was walking out the door. He's like, yo, this girl's going to give you head tonight. And like my drunk ass, I was like, okay. And, so we got in the Uber and like all I remember is like 5 seconds of like this girl putting her head on my shoulder. And I looked over, I was like, ooh, she actually looks really, really good. And then I don't remember walking in the house or anything, but I remember it feels like a 4-second clip of me just clapping the crap out of her cheeks. And then the next morning I woke up, I like stretched a little bit, checked my phone. Like I forgot this girl was even here. And I turned over, I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, I'm almost scared to look over. And I sat up, I looked over, I was like, ugh. I started crying, I was like, ugh. Like she wasn't bad or nothing, I guess, but like she looked like night and day with the makeup on and off.
Right.
Like, cause I was looking at pictures of her like the night before, I was like, oh, she's like actually like decent looking, but like that next morning, man, she was looking rough, bro. I had to get her out of the crib.
Bro, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, bro, there'd be moments like that, you know? So you either choose to regret those moments or you're like, you know what, it was cool. I knew what I was getting myself into, you know? I was drunk. Like you know the process of it, you know? Now, sober me, like that's how I know I made a bad decision because I would never do that, you know? So that's how you know. Wait, do you have a type?
Yeah, I like them short, blonde.
Okay.
Eye color don't matter. I like green. I'll take blue. I even accept brown, but they gotta be short, like 5'4" or shorter. Because I'm only like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" with boots on.
5'10" with boots. There it is.
Yeah, so it's like she gotta be short, but like most importantly, she has to have a personality. Like she has to be cool, and like I'm kind of picky, so like you know, obviously, you know, I'll sleep around with the girl like whatever body count is, but like I would never date a girl whose body count's higher than like 9.
That's a lot of interesting things. You know, I like what you said about the personality thing because a lot of people would say that's corny, you know? I think for me, it's like, bro, would you be able to stick with anyone for longer than a month if they had a terrible personality? Like, I don't think so, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's for sure the key.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it is cats only have 9 lives, man. Like the pussy, all that. That's kind of what I compare it to. So
but that body count one was interesting to me, you know? I guess that's like, that's in favor too. If you once you hit the double digits, you know? Like,
I feel like with the women especially, it's kind of cooked, man. Cause like with them, it's a little different because they're more emotional, and so like their feelings get all messed up. And I don't know. But what do you think? Like, would you date a girl with a high body count?
Date?
Like settle down, married, kids, like 10 years from now.
You know what's crazy? I don't think I even like want to go about marrying or having kids. I think I just see myself just being me throughout the whole rest of my life. I think it's cool to like, you know, pass down the torch, you know, and you know, start generations and going about doing that. I feel like for me, like, and I know I'm young and I'm saying this now, and then who knows, 10, 20 years from later, I have a kid and like a wife, you know, like who knows, But as of right now, I don't see that. I just see like just me focusing on myself, and I see that for a very long time. And I think that that's how a healthy relationship should go. You know, I don't, and a lot of people are motivated differently. You know, I think how I am is working on myself first. Once I know I am set, I am good, then it is worth the time to go about finding someone who you want to fall in love with. And then they're going to see that what you've done throughout the past, like you're successful now. Like who would not want to be with someone that's like successful, well-putting, you know, lives in a nice house, whatever it is, right? And then you want to have kids and be committed, you know, versus doing it during the process. And then when you're with them during the process, they might doubt it. It may not work out because you're still working on yourself. Like you can't work on yourself and then bring someone along. You know, I feel like now you got to focus on yourself and the other person. I think it's really important to focus on yourself, focus on one thing at a time. And then when you are perfect and confident and good within yourself, then bring someone else. So that now you have that full time of responsibility to focus on that person and then have kids. You know, I think it's really, really important. And this is because of my personal experience. I think it is really important to focus on yourself, because if not, you're going to go mentally crazy. That's when depression kicks in. Like it's insane how many people that I truly saw were really successful at the top. And then like, because they were in a relationship, they got brought back down because the motivation is gone, you know? I just really just focus on myself. And that's why I really don't go about, going throughout that love aspect and all that, you know? And I could tell you my type right now, but maybe that's not going to be the person who I'm with the next, you know, whoever, or, you know, whatever time. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Man, did I just get good at like dating advice from Brandon Cardoso? That's actually crazy.
Yeah, man. I just can't believe a lot of people waste their lives because of a female, you know, or a male or whoever it is. It's just not worth it, you know? And you put yourself in that position and it's just like, why would you do that? You know, just focus on yourself.
Yeah. Have you ever been in love before?
Yeah, man. I've been in a TikTok relationship.
TikTok?
Yeah. So I've dated this girl whose brother was like one of the top of the TikTok creators, but she was big herself too. And we dated, and then I ended up making a lot of TikToks with her. Actually, my most top 5 views, if you go on my TikTok, are actually with her. One this week just hit 10 mil views.
And it's an old video?
Yeah. This was like 2019.
Oh, wow.
And I've only ever dated one time. And that one time I've learned a lot. And I don't regret it at all because I feel like it got me ready for the next step whenever I want to go within that route. I've learned what it's like to be a good boyfriend, how much time to spend with someone, and also what a breakup feels like. I think those top 3 things are most important in a relationship. Do I have time for this? Does this person deserve my love? And how is it whenever they leave? So those are 3 different things, you know, that I feel like I learned within the relationship. And I felt like that, again, what I said is going to teach me on my next one to find the right person, those who deserve my love. And also if they leave, am I going to be upset, you know, or how am I going to feel, you know? So that's why, like I said, that taught me what I now know, and that's why I avoid it completely, because I know how that made me feel, and I was down bad whenever there was that breakup, because it ended up being TikTok drama. Those drama pages were posting us saying that like I was just like cheating and doing this, but that was never the case, you know. Like it's crazy how much misinformation it goes about online, and how much people really love clicks and views, you know. Like I think it's crazy how that really comes to play within that, because that's relevant, you know what I mean?
Well, dude, I feel like talking to you, like I've genuinely kind of learned a lot today, or at least one thing that'll stick with me. So I really appreciate you coming on. It was really nice having you.
Of course, man.
And you want to plug your socials?
If you guys do care to check me out at wildthings.vip/Brandon, and my IG is Brandon's Wilden. If you guys want to see more of me, go check me out there, baby.
And links will be in the description. I'm Bossman Bates, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.